Today is February 6th, 2026, and we are currently tracking what hopefully is the last Arctic blast that we are going to experience in the Great Lakes region, the Ohio Valley region, New York, Pennsylvania, through the Carolinas. We're hoping this is the last one that we can expect in this late portion of the winter. This is the last 3 weeks of the meteorological winter. It does end March 1st. We are looking forward to that. If you are with me today, we're going to follow the temperature anomalies that are currently going on and in the future in Canada and the US. We're going to look at the radar. We're going to look at some of the current temperatures and wind chills. And we're also going to look at what our future looks like in the next few weeks, whether or not we're going to be above average depending on where you are or below average. Right now, the current pattern for the past few weeks has been the western half of the United States has been over average, the eastern half has been below average, and I think we're on the verge of seeing a major pattern flip. So follow with me and let's get into some of this radar tracking systems today. So here's a current radar that we are now tracking. We still have that rain off the west coast of Canada in the Vancouver region. And if we just take a look at this here, it's just steady rain that they've been experiencing for the past few days and snow in the higher altitudes at Whistler Mountain. So this is a very normal pattern that Vancouver and BC experiences throughout winter. They do get some of the moist, warmer air off the west coast, and it just translates into rain and snow in the higher elevations. And off east, we are following a system that is currently passing through the Great Lakes region. It came down from northwestern Ontario, and it is currently pacing through southern Ontario, through New York, Pennsylvania, Virginia, West Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and we're about to see a pattern or a temperature plunge for this weekend. It is currently starting right now. We have some very high winds. We have some blizzard warnings. We have some winter weather advisories. So be careful if you are traveling in southwestern Ontario or any of these states on the northeastern coast of the United States, because driving on ice and snow can be very, very deadly. Here are some of the current temperatures that we are experiencing, and you can see how that the last Arctic plunge that we're hoping for pushes all the way down through Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Alabama even gets into some of it. We are seeing cold air plunge down to Virginia, West Virginia, even all the way northeast up into Pennsylvania, New York, Maine, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Rhode Island. This is a big system bringing a little bit of snow with it. It has been dangerous driving conditions where I'm from in southern Ontario. So please be careful, like I said, if you are driving in these conditions. The western half, you do see a push through the bottom or the southern portion of Texas. We do see a kickback. It's almost like a little reluctance of warmer weather to heat up. That's just our cooling down each night. But we are starting to see a little bit warmer air start to push through that southern portion down from Mexico into some of those southern states. Here are some of the current temperatures that have pushed their way into the northeastern portion of the United States or into southern Ontario if you are in Canada. Now we can see the temperatures around southern Ontario, Great Lakes region, were around the freezing point at 32 degrees Fahrenheit. And after we see this major cold front come through, there are temperatures that are sitting in the single digits. This is a very, very powerful, very, very quick changing temperature storm that's coming through right now. So if you are outdoors or planning to be outdoors, find your way into somewhere warm. Please do not be outside for long. And if you are, please bundle up, because this entire region is experiencing a very big Arctic plunge with frigid cold air that can be very, very dangerous. Now, I just wanted to also point out Texas is experiencing quite a warm up. We do see temperatures, some of them up into the lower 80s. For the most part, everywhere is at a comfortable 70, 75 temperature, which is very comfortable for this time of year. It's a nice little push, a little bit of relief from the snow that was experienced 2 weeks ago with that major snowstorm that kicked through the southeastern portion of the United States. And I believe the entire Gulf Coast region is experiencing a bit of a warm up. So if we look at this map here, we even see Mississippi, Louisiana, we see Alabama get into the mix with some of these warmer temperatures. We see the Gulf of Mexico is starting to experience a little bit of a warm-up after that extreme cold plunge. And also I want to talk about Florida, who experienced freezing cold temperatures as well. They were below 32 degrees Fahrenheit and had very, very cold wind chills for that portion. They're starting to warm up now, so it is rebounding from a few weeks ago or from a few days ago as well. But we do see a push. There is a push down into the northern portion of Florida, also into the majority of Georgia, that it's getting very close to some of these cold temperatures again. This is going to last for a few days before we see it push itself back up north. Here are the temperature anomalies that we're seeing in North America right now. We see Alaska, who they were above average recently. They are starting to be a little bit under now, so we do see a little bit of a mix up there. We do see some funneling of that cold air go through northwestern Ontario, kind of right through the Hudson Bay region, and funnel its way down into the Great Lakes, northeastern United States region. You can see the entire western half of Canada is experiencing over seasonal temperatures, as well as the western half of the United States. This has been a long-term pattern that's been the last few weeks. It's been frustrating if you are on the eastern half of the USA and Canada, but there's not much you can do about it. It's just the way that weather works, because these cold temperatures have been blocked and there's nowhere for it to go. So it's kind of just settled in that area, and it's just funneling from north to south. And these were the temperature anomalies that you can just see how strong this cold front is that's passing through currently through the night tonight, which is Friday, into the morning Saturday tomorrow. But we do see a bit of a rebound in the next few days. We'll get into that very, very shortly. But you can see that these are double-digit negative temperatures that are coming in through New York, Pennsylvania, and the East Coast, Maine, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Virginia, West Virginia, Washington, D.C., even getting into those really, really cold temperatures. And remember, this is degrees Fahrenheit, so this is very, very cold. So once again, my warning to you is, if you're outside, please don't stay for long, and bundle up if you are, and please get inside to somewhere warm. Do not stay out for long. And this is just the wind chills, and this just lines up on top of what already is extremely cold temperatures. So this is a very strong front. You can see that temperature gradient push southeast from the northwest of Ontario. These are very, very cold temperatures, guys. So I'm just telling you, be safe out there if you are outside. It is affecting the entire northeastern portion of the United States, as well as Ontario, Quebec, and this will push out east as well. Now, the good news is, in about 6 to 10 days, between these range of days, we are going to see a majority of the United States warm up, which I would assume you can include majority parts of Canada in this as well. Now, the central portion of the United States is getting a strong push. If we do follow the trend, there's a strong push from the south to bring up warmer temperatures, and this is pushing all the way up, and we will see it eventually take over the eastern half of the United States, and we actually will see the western portion of the United States be under average. So it's going to actually reverse, but we will follow that. We aren't 100% sure, because this is still probably 5 or 6 days away, but we are tracking it, and it does look like a major pattern reversal. And within 2 weeks, we still see a very similar pattern of where those above seasonal temperatures are going to be, which dominates the eastern portion of the United States. Now, February is still a very cold month for winter if you're in those northern states, or if you are in Manitoba, Ontario, Quebec, Saskatchewan, Alberta, if you are in any of those provinces or those northern states in the US, it is still very likely that it's going to be cold, but you might be actually over seasonal temperatures, which is still big considering how cold it's been for the past few weeks. Looking at our precipitation for the next 6 to 10 days range, we do see about 95% of the United States is going to experience more precipitation than usual, which can be a good thing if you look at it that way. But we do see that with a warm-up usually brings more active storm pattern, whether that is snow, whether it's rain or thunderstorms. We might see some storms in some of the southern states as we start to see warmer weather and the jet stream start to push a little bit north, because the seasons are going to be flipping in the next month or so. We're going to start seeing a change in season. And in 2 weeks, we still see a very similar pattern. Texas looks about the only portion that is going to be at seasonal precipitation probabilities, but everywhere else is going to be above. So we're tracking it. We're not 100% sure. We do see a little bit of maybe a system coming through the Great Lakes region in about a week, but it's too early to say so. And this is our future radar, just to show you what we're looking at in the next little while. We do see a few systems that do connect through the Great Lakes region, and right now we just see that huge dip right now in the jet stream. But about a week from now, we do track a storm that goes right through the Great Lakes region that comes from that is traveling from northwestern Ontario. We do also see that the jet stream tries to level off a bit after this very cold plunge. So we will track it. We will follow it in the next few days. We do need to get by this weekend though, because this weekend is going to be the coldest of the cold. And here's our temperature anomalies for the next few weeks. We have it just going really quick here. If you want to play this back at half speed, I recommend doing so, but you could see that there is that cold Arctic air that funnels its way down through the southeastern portion of the United States, as well as it dominates the northeastern portion of the United States and the western half. We do see an eventual takeover of the eastern portion or eastern half of the United States, as well as Ontario and portions of Quebec. So we got to hang in there for about 5 more days or so before we actually start to experience above seasonal temperatures, which will feel like a nice break if you've been on the eastern half of this map. And if we this is just a North American look at what we can expect temperature anomaly wise, and this is in degrees Celsius. So it looks like there's a chance that you could be, if you've been in the eastern half, you could be about 5 to 10 degrees Celsius above average, which is a huge break. Just depends on where you're at. Now, the biggest struggle I see on this map is in the Great Lakes region. There is a pushback every so often because the lakes are so cold. It keeps that entire area very cold. Even if everywhere else around it warms up, it's just because how large the lakes are, and northern winds can affect that greatly. Here are temperatures for the next little while as well. We do see plenty of pushes from the southern portions of Mexico into the United States, up through Texas and the central United States. We do get to see some above freezing temperatures in the Great Lakes area, but nothing too incredible right now. But I feel like even around 0 degrees Celsius or 32 degrees Fahrenheit in the Great Lakes region, it is going to feel very nice, especially if the sun is out because of how cold it's been in recent weeks. So that's just a bit of an outlook or future prediction on what we can see in the next few weeks with temperatures. And here are the actual temperatures. So these are going to be the actual numbers that you're going to experience. If you're in Western Canada, you have been actually quite over average in the southern portions of British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba. There's been a few days where you've actually been into the double digits, which is pretty incredible. So we'll keep tracking this. I do expect that these above 0 temperatures or above 32 Fahrenheit degree temperatures will hit the eastern portion of southern Ontario, which would be great. It would be a big change. We are going to be getting into March in the next few weeks, so I do expect with the sun being out longer that it will affect the temperatures as we get closer and closer to March, just because that's the way that seasons work. It does have to warm up eventually. The average temperatures throughout the months eventually goes up. So thank you for joining me today. I'm your host, Brian, and this is the Border City Kids podcast channel. If you've been with me throughout all of my weather forecasts, please hit the like button, subscribe button, and share the show with everyone you know, because we all need to know what it's going to be like when we go traveling. So thanks for being with me. We'll see you next time. Have a good one.